Okay, here it is, another 12-player FFA. I'm going to play this one back a little slower than normal, just one speed, because the beginning of the game is pretty important. And I just wanted to explain things a little bit farther, or a little bit better than I normally do. So we're going to start out, we're not going to do the Polytar push, because I figure I'll go after Hoodrick first. Otherwise, I would have pushed my warrior down there to the left. And Hoodrick, I mean, I could go after Polaris first. Polaris is not a very good tribe in 12-player FFA because his first unit can only freeze, it can't attack. But the reason I went after Hoodrick first was because also the archers are pretty weak. They only have a 1 defense. But I'm going to change my mind here because there's only a 1 tile land strip between my territory and Hoodrick's territory. I'm not going to be able to put enough troops through there. So we are going to attack Polaris in the end. So we meet Polaris. He gives us forestry. Yeah, so hitting my archer took his warrior down to 8 health, which is good because my Polytar can now use that warrior to actually move one more tile than he normally would have, because a full health Polytar can kill an 8 health warrior as long as there's no defense bonus. So we just go in there and we kill his warrior. So now we know the only unit he has is his Mooney, the Mooney he started with that has no attack. So it's probably standing by, ready to freeze us as soon as we enter that village. So we're going to go ahead and I wonder why I did that. Oh, that's right. Okay, so that 5 health archer would not wound that warrior enough for one of my Polytars to get in. That's why I struck him with my 15 health Polytar, so my 10 health can get in there. So we send out this explorer. He gets us a lot of good stuff. I forget what. I'm thinking I got climbing and riding. And you'll notice when I moved my Polytar, I moved him farther away from Imp's territory because I don't know what Imperius has, so I'm going to try to stay away from him for now. And what do you want to bet that Mooney is going to freeze my Polytar now? So it's no big deal that Polaris freezes your unit when you're in his village, as long as you have 2 units standing by to kill his Mooney next turn. So yeah, that's why I wanted to go after Hoodrick first, was because it would have taken 1 less turn to take Hoodrick's capital, because he wouldn't freeze my unit when I put it in his capital, as Polaris will. So there we go. We're doing pretty well here. So I have to say, in a 12-player FFA, I would rank Hoodrick, well, actually maybe Oumaji as the worst tribe to pick. Then Hoodrick, and they might actually just be tied for the worst. Then Polaris. The only reason I rank Polaris a little higher than Oumaji and Hoodrick is because, like I said, Oumaji and Hoodrick only have a 1 defense starter unit, being a rider or an archer. And Polaris at least has a 2 defense starter unit. So yeah, those 3 are probably ranked at the very bottom. And this needs to speed up, because I think we're got the initial start of the game covered pretty well. So now we're just gonna, looks like we spam archers. All we have to do is keep 1 warrior there to keep Hoodrick away from us, and he's probably not attacking us because he's fighting some other players over there on the right side of the map. So Imperius is our next victim. I put a 14 HP Polytar in there, which it took 3 units to kill. So he was spamming warriors on somebody up there in the north, but he had to call all his units back just to defend from that Polytar. And I'm hoping that's the only village he has. That way he can't make any more units to come free himself from the next Polytar that attacks. So this turn I put a 10 health Polytar in there since he killed my 14 health. But I'm thinking he's only got that one warrior left with 5 HP there. I'm hoping that's the case at least. And yeah, that was his only village, so he can't even retaliate. And I believe I bought a defender tech before I captured that village. No, I bought whaling. So I bought whaling before I captured Imperious's village to keep the cost down. It saved me 2 stars since I bought it before capturing the village. So now we're going to go after Imo. And we didn't have a unit that could attack and enter the village on the same turn, because archers, they can just shoot from a distance. They can't shoot and then move into the tile of the unit they just killed. But that's okay. We've got this Polytar moving up there. He's going to be able to take the village. And now our Navalon is within 3 tiles of Hoodrick. So I think this game's going to start looking pretty much finished soon. We're already in first place. We're starting to spread out. Not in too many directions at once. You'll notice it was first Polaris, then it was Imperius, then it was Imo, but I moved the bulk of all my my units in one direction at a time, except for the Navalon. The Navalon can fight he can wage his own war, and that just caused Hoodrick to resign there. He opened the game and found a Navalon in his village, and he just quit. So it's a pretty standard reaction to a Navalon coming out of nowhere and entering your capital. But yeah, see, the bulk of our units are in one place. They're over there in the north. The only warrior I have down here in the south is he's just standing in the 1 tile corridor, making sure we don't have to worry about anything attacking us from the south there. So Luxador is now bought. Hoodrick's a bot. Venger is a bot. Yep, this is pretty much over. In a few turns after I catapult Kiku and move my archers in to shoot his units, he resigns too. And then my dragon eggs hatch. And that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any comments or suggestions.